Joining us for another episode of Black Coffee and Crime. What did you have to say, Brad?
I was gonna say, y'all know I've been sick and shut-in list. That's why I'm leaning back like this because your girl's in a lot of pain. I done had the old surgery, shoulder replacement, and just before we was going on, Bram was gonna let me know if I was leaning, but she didn't give me the signal.
I'm just literally gonna tell you leaning. So come on back. Come on
Okay.
back.
It
So
would have
yeah,
been nice if we had a signal so everybody wouldn't be knowing I'm leaning, but I'm
but
guessing everybody would be knowing I'm leaning.
they can already see you. So yes, Brady did have a shoulder surgery right before Thanksgiving, and then it was a holiday, so that's why we weren't with you last week. But thank you guys for joining us this week. Any new subscribers, thank you for joining us. We go back and look at other episodes. We are on YouTube and slowly but surely on getting on Spotify. You guys can go over there. It's looking pretty dry over there. The Santa Ana winds are just going right on through, and all the tumbleweeds is going right on through Spotify. But you can always go to Facebook and to she's off there. Facebook and Instagram.
I'm here holding.
The Black Coffee Crime. So we struggle through this episode because she's just
I'm
here
just
by
trying
the
to. I'm just trying to get comfortable. That's it.
she's here by the grace of God and purpose. Okay, so
Y'all don't even know. And I'm
they
hoping
don't.
we get through with this show before these perks kick in because I'm liable to say anything.
And for the new people, we don't want Brandy just to start saying anything. Okay, there have been some episodes where she just was saying stuff, and she was sober. And I don't want you guys to experience
But our old people will want Brandy to say stuff. They don't want that. The old crew, the people that's been with us, they already know it's gonna be an adventure.
Yeah,
So they want that.
We just gonna skate right on.
Hold it.
Get on with this. Get on. Now we did have a different idea for the show that we were going to do last week. We were going to talk about the Netflix documentary called Killer Sally about the female bodybuilder who murdered her husband. But a lot of things happened these last couple of weeks that we're just going to go ahead and talk about. But something happened today in Riverside, California, which is weird. But again, not weird to us anymore. So this guy from Virginia, 28-year-old man, catfished a 15-year-old girl, drove from Virginia to Riverside, California. Now we're talking from one end of the country to all the way to the other end. Okay. Drove there, killed her mother, her grandparents, set the house on fire, and kidnapped her. There was a shootout. He's dead now. But he's a police officer. He is a whole ass police officer who catfished a 15-year-old girl and drove across the. So Brandon and I were talking about this earlier, Jackie. I don't know if you saw the story. This Eyewitness News 7 News had it, and a couple others. I think it's on CNN as well. Brandy and I were talking about this. Now, if you've seen a picture, Brandy, can you? I'll send Jackie the picture of what this man looks like.
He looked.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that is. I don't know what neighborhood in Riverside this happened in because it, doesn't say like Valley, so it does say Riverside, so it has to be Riverside proper. But he killed her 38-year-old grandma, her 38-year-old mom, and her grandparents. So we were wondering, like, what was in the conversation, the online conversations? Like, did he have in mind that he was gonna go and like take her from them, and there was some resistance? Like, the story is so new that we just don't.
The thing that I did see was that one of the neighbors actually said that they called the police because it looked like someone was uncomfortably or being put in a car, which made me think that the girl did not want to go. Because some of these stories, and because we've done them, some of these girls is in on it and they want to go. But I think that there was a call that somebody was being forcefully put in a car, which means that this girl didn't want to go. And this is what I think happened, and partially because I did watch the new season of Criminal Minds, the first 2 episodes, and it
Mhm.
did have kind of a situation with a catfish, whatever. The girl was on the line with the guy telling him, regular teenage stuff. My parents don't let me go out. I don't have any freedom. Everybody gripes about their parents when they're a teenager. Like that's the law. Like that's known
That's what
that
you
you're
got.
gonna do that. That's what every teenager does. They walk around like the world's falling tomorrow, and they got a rock in their shoe. It's just what they do. So I
And
think personally, I don't know. This is just going on my own thoughts that this girl probably was complaining to this guy about my parents won't let me do this or that. They get on my nerves and they won't let me see you and I can't travel and all this stuff. And he took that serious and went out there and basically got
well,
rid of her.
again, she's communicating with someone who's her age. So of course she's not thinking that this old as man who's twice her age is going to come.
But do we
And
know if she thought the man was her age, or do we
it
think,
said that he was posing as a teenager.
oh, okay, well then, yeah, well, yeah, then that's perfect. Matter of
Yeah, it
fact,
says
y'all watch the new episodes of Criminal Minds so it can stay on the air because that's my show.
yeah,
But
it
anyway,
does say in this ABC Eyewitness News article that he was posing as a teenager. Um,
he doesn't look old. He does not look old, but he does. The weirdo factor is
is
at the top of the meter.
yes,
I mean, it's
definitely.
busting through the meter.
Let me get this picture to Jackie so she can see. So his job was he worked for the Virginia State Police. He was a state trooper, and he was in the police academy just this past January. And he was recently hired by the Washington County Sheriff's Department this earlier this month. So he was going to be a patrol officer, and I,
Like
I'm
he
gonna
was
get this.
moving up the ranks, it seems like.
Yeah,
And he's a young guy. He's a young guy. Like not, he's too young to be
I
messing with that girl. But as
I
far as
honestly think that when this comes out, he's going to be one of those incel guys that has never had success with
being with a
dating,
woman,
sex, or anything like that. And
He definitely
so,
looks that way.
right? So
He
that
looks just creepy.
this is what he does, and you know, he wanted her. So we'll find out. Like I said, this just happened
yeah.
this morning. Today is November 28th, Monday, November 28th. So by the time this airs on Thursday, December 1st, I'm quite sure we'll have some different developments. So,
Hopefully. But I
yes,
really, this girl is really going to have, I mean, they really need to get her some help, even with help, mental help. She's her mom, her grandparents, she's going to blame herself for their death. And
it's,
I feel bad. I feel bad. And especially if she thought that she was talking to a boy her age. That's why we need to be aware of what our kids are doing on that internet. Teach them about these catfishes. I mean, there's some adults that get caught up in catfish situation.
well,
Teach
I
them
mean,
about social media safety. You
lack of
know,
confidence and validation and all these things, because, everyone thinks that everybody on Instagram has a perfect life. And if you don't measure up to that type of a life, it can cause, issues with, depression and not feeling as if you're worthy or whatever. Like,
and then also coming off the pandemic, where all they were doing was sitting at home communicating online.
Mhm.
You know, that really the pandemic really pushed it in gear where everybody was communicating online, children, adults, everybody, because we could not see each other. So I mean, I'm pretty sure the people who weren't necessarily, we don't really know how long this relationship was going on, but just for the fact that the pandemic just put communicating online just on overload. Like I just really feel for this family, and I really feel for this young girl. I really do. That was my first thought when I read it, was like, oh my gosh, this girl, first she has to deal with the whole kidnapping, seeing the man get killed, and then knowing that her family, and we don't know if she's seen her family members be killed, but we know that she knows
She
they're dead.
knew that he, did something to them. It appears that it happened over the weekend, and they just. Oh, this happened on Price Court. I don't know what that is.
There's so many new developments. I don't know where
Let me
thinking
look it up
are.
because I want to know. Price Court in Horse. Let's see about where this is. This is in La Sierra.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right, we will go ahead and move on. So, this story is something that is in the media right now. Of how do we say her name? Is it Shanquella or Shanquella?
Shanquella is kind of what I've been hearing,
Okay.
but Black names it can go. I think her friends called her Quila, but
So I've heard it a couple of different ways, and I've
I've
seen
heard
it
it
spelled.
both. And you know how we pronounce our names sometimes, so it's
So
not with any disrespect if we pronounce it wrong.
right, it's just I've seen it spelled and I've heard it said in a couple of different ways, but most of the articles I do see Shan. We'll just go with Shanquella.
And her mom's name is
Shanquella.
Salmandria. Salamandria, like
Something,
salamandria or something like that.
something like that. Salamandra.
Yeah, salamandra.
Okay, so October 29th, some friends were in Mexico. There were Shanquella or Shanquella and 6 other friends that went to San Jose del Cabo in Mexico. They're vacationing together. The reasons why are unknown right now, but one of the friends recorded her being beaten horribly. And in the parts of the video that I've seen, and I will confess that I have not watched, and I will not watch the entire video. She's not defending herself. And one of the guys, you hear a male voice from the back that says something like, "You're not even gonna fight back or something."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, the friends that she went with, close friends,
In quotes.
either beat her or watched her being beaten. After a period of time, they left her alone and went about their business. And apparently, one of the hotel staff came in and found her, called for medical professionals or whatever to come in. They apparently, from most of the stories that I've read, that she was alive, she was dehydrated, and she was incoherent. She was not verbally lucid. And they worked on her for about 3 hours. And after they got her to the hospital, she died after about an hour.
But the thing
The
that part of the story, I can see, I've said that they called probably on call something from the hotel, and they came and saw that she was getting bad and said, "Let's take her to the hospital," and they said no. It's just
right,
so.
the friends, they didn't call the
But they
ambulance. It
did
was
have a
more.
medical personnel there, but it was not like ambulance or something like that. I'm thinking
They
it might have
called a
been.
doctor. They called a doctor from the
Was it a doctor that was on call in the hotel, or?
no, I don't believe so, because it took the doctor about an hour to get there. It was from the American something hospital that's
No.
there. But so it says a guest. This is a story from Time magazine. It says, and I'm reading this. It says a guest allegedly alerted medical staff at the resort where Robinson was staying, saying that the victim had drunk a lot of alcohol around 2 p.m. that day. So based on that, I'm assuming it's one of the people that was there. A doctor advised that she be trained. This is from Time magazine. A doctor advised that Robinson be transferred to a hospital due to dehydration, but none of her friends did so. She later died of cardiac arrest. So it was advised, maybe by hotel medical staff, you should take her to the hospital. They didn't do that. So after that, it took about an hour to get someone there.
And then that's crazy in itself because alcohol poisoning is very serious. Like it's serious by itself, let alone they not knowing about her other injuries. But
here's the
alcohol
thing.
poisoning is
They
serious.
already knew it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So
Well,
you
yeah, I
don't.
know, but I'm saying the professional medical whoever who came, um,
But they can't assess if it's alcohol poisoning. She's just dehydrated. So they're like, hey, y'all said she drank a lot of alcohol. That doesn't necessarily equate to alcohol poisoning, but she's dehydrated. Y'all need to get her to the doctor. Like,
and they couldn't get. I think they couldn't even get an IV in her, could they? Couldn't get an IV in her, which means
not until they got to the hospital. That
I,
she had. Yeah.
I
So
wonder where the
basically,
dehydration came in at. Was she already just dehydrated from traveling, or
been that. It could have
okay?
been that. And depending on what the weather was, um, you know, physical activity, especially getting beat, takes a lot out of you. The official cause of she died of cardiac arrest. But when they did the official autopsy, they saw that she had sustained a spinal injury to her spinal cord and damn near a severed neck. What was it? What did they call it? A dislocated neck.
This my thing is these supposed to be grown folks. These aren't high school kids, like when you have the fight and everybody runs around and watches fight. These are grown people. Like she had business. So these were supposed to be her friends from college. And one guy that I think the mom said had been to the house and around the family before, considered her really good friend.
I think
When did you decide?
you're allowing too much credit and too much grace to people maturing past high school or past
I guess, but I just
assumption. It is the assumption that as we get older, we lose that, pettiness and want to fight. And we don't. Because if it's in you, it's in you. I think that if you were the mean girl in junior high and high school, you're probably that same mean girl and harbor some resentment somewhere. So I'm going to fight her.
Do we know if these friends lived in her area or were they out, lived in other states and they met up?
Well, they all went back to her mama's house.
So my thing is, if you're going to beat somebody up, why are you going to pay money to go to another country to beat somebody up?
I'm going to tell you why I think they did it. Because they're fucking dumb. And they were thinking, this is the reason why they didn't want her to go to the hospital. They were thinking, we'll do this while we're in Mexico. I don't know if it was pre-planned. Her mom is thinking that they set her up. I think her mom and her dad are saying that they set her up. But we're going to do this here. We're in Mexico. And they're thinking Mexico is some third world country and they're just going to sweep this under the rug. They're never really going to find out. And by the time we get back, we'll be in the U.S. and we won't have this problem because we'll leave the problem in Mexico. The U.S. established an extradition treaty with Mexico quite some time.
And this what makes it even more stupid is you're in a huge tourist area. Like they're not going to let anything go by that might affect tourism. So we're going to make sure this isn't some outside person jumping them because they don't want anything to mess up the tourism, especially when it has to do with Americans. I don't know how, with it being black, I don't know, but them being Americans, that it's just not going to be, oh, okay.
We are assuming that these people are even thinking about that. All they're thinking of is we're in Mexico. They're not thinking that they're at a resort, not in some faraway village halfway up a mountain somewhere where you might not be able to get the authorities or even have an autopsy. They did an autopsy almost immediately.
And then I don't get beating up somebody who is not fighting back. Like,
That's the crazy thing about this. Like, we just don't know. Like I said, they all went back to, I believe it's Charlotte, North Carolina. They all went back to North Carolina. They came back and apparently they were all telling her mom
sat in her
what
mama's
happened.
house.
And they all kind of had some different stories. And so her mom really wasn't buying it. The Mexican authorities contacted the FBI. And the FBI agreed to let the Mexican authorities do whatever it is that they needed to do. There is a warrant out for, I believe her name is Daejhanae Jackson.
And she's the big girl that was beating her. I've heard a lot of things about this case, and I've tried to stick to the facts that from the news, credible news areas. But there has been something going around that she was beat by 2 girls. Is this correct? Or
That's
just
what
the
I've
one girl that we know of?
that there were 2, but there was like one that was like the clear aggressor.
Okay. Because the one big girl, and she was going crazy and would not stop. And I'm like, this girl is not fighting back. And I'm not saying there's fun in fighting, but clearly the pleasure of you hurting someone and they're not fighting back, I don't get it. I mean, and I did watch one of the videos. They said there's more than one, but I did watch one, and basically it was like some high school crap that you see on YouTube where people are fighting and you have somebody recording it, and these are grown people, which I don't understand. And
Again, even I mean, you can't really. I
label
understand like
grown immaturity. I know.
it's
And then the
age.
fact that you gonna take her stuff, and I know they stole some of her stuff. I know they probably stole some of her stuff. Gonna take her stuff, sit in her mama's living room, tell her mama and her sister in their face that she died of alcohol poisoning, knowing good and well that y'all did what you did. Now, what I want to ask is, what do you think about the guy who showed up later and said that he saw her there? He wasn't there during the fight, but he saw her when she was laying on the couch or wherever she was, and she looked like she was in a bad way. And he says he tried to sit, he did this long video. I don't know if you've seen the video online, a video of how he came and, he tried to sit with her or whatever, because he didn't know what was going on. And he thought at first it was alcohol poisoning, like, he wasn't part of none of the.
If you think someone is that drunk or that much under the influence, why wouldn't you try to help them?
Well, he claims that he was sitting there like with her, like, um, you guys have to watch the video, but basically saying that he was sitting there comforting her or whatever during the ordeal.
Conscious.
Girl, I don't know. Something with him's a little fishy too, but again,
She can't. And if she's been beaten the way we saw her being
face busted,
have known that she's been beaten up. So don't. I don't.
but then you can say the same thing about the medical professional. Did they say that she fell and busted her lip on the table? Like, because clearly her eye, I think she had something going on with her eye, her lip. I'm sure her lip was busted. I'm sure she had knots on her head the way that girl was hitting her, because she was beating her like a man. So what was the medical professional saying? Like,
right.
This whole thing is just crazy. And the fact that only one girl they're only looking for one girl. They need to have all of them. The guy on the phone who didn't help.
It's still very early. I don't know how the FBI is going to play with this, or how this is going to play out with the Mexican authorities. But there's definitely an extradition warrant out for Daejhanae Jackson.
And the fact that they scattered like roaches when they got back, deleted their social medias, cut their phones off, like,
yeah, all of this.
You are looking super guilty.
Exactly. And you know what this reminded me of immediately? This is Jackie's wheelhouse right here. When I heard about this story and what they were doing, the first name that I thought of was Kanika Jenkins. Um, that was the girl in 2017 that went to a party in a hotel in Chicago, ended up in the freezer in an unused part of the hotel. Her friend, she went there with her friend. She drove her car with her friends in that car. Her friend left her. They said they couldn't find her. I don't know why they let her leave the room in the condition that she was in. They did not find any alcohol in her. Well, they did find alcohol. They said that the alcohol that they found in Kanika's system was above the legal limit. She was 19 years old, but it was above the legal limit, but they did not find any illicit drugs. There might have been a drug called topiramate that's used for migraines and epilepsy that can cause, impaired, that can basically impair you. And I understand that because I have some medication that takes you right out. But why would you let her leave? And where did she get it from? Was it prescribed? But her friends who left her drove her car to her mom's house and were like, we don't know where she is. It was the next morning that they found her in the freezer. The authorities said that there was no foul play, but her clothes were disheveled. They didn't find any evidence of any sexual assault, but it's kind of like, was she ripping her clothes off? Did whatever medication was she on? Did that like overheat her body, and that's why she was trying to take her clothes off in a freezer? How did she find her way to the freezer? Like all of these things reminded me of Kanika Jenkins because I'm like, this is what happened to that girl. Maybe she didn't get beat up, but something happened to her to make her leave that room. And that's what that reminded me of immediately. So, and another story that is very similar to is one of the first ones that we did, one of our very first episodes was Tamala Horsford out of Cummings, Georgia. But in 2018, she goes on a sleepover, an adult sleepover with some. She's a football mom. She had two boys, I believe. I think it was two boys, and she did a sleepover with the other football moms, and she falls from the second story and has spinal injuries and dies. And everyone's scrambling. No one knows what happens. They're like, oh, she was drunk. She was on Xanax. She was on drugs. Lots of covering up going on. There was one of the ladies that was there. Her boyfriend worked for the sheriff's department or the DA's office or something like that, and he kind of redacted some records. It was real shady. So this all like reminds me of that. It's kind of like you can't trust anybody. Like you can't go anywhere. You can't trust anybody because these people you think, hey, we're going on vacation, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and you're not knowing that they're plotting against you.
This story just really affected me. And I don't know if because I have I have young adult children or just, I'm just putting myself like you're vulnerable, you're in another country and you try to go to somewhere to have a good time and then all of a sudden you just
Yeah, it's kind of
not
like
doing
you're
anything.
not even worried about the people that you don't know. You have to be worried about the people that you arrived with. Um, and when you're talking about these are not high school students. Well, Kanika Jenkins was a teenager. Shanquella is, a young adult, and Tamma Horseman was in her late 30s with her contemporaries. So it happened. Look at the guy. I think it was this year, maybe late last year, where there was a black guy who went hunting with a work buddy.
I
He
never
was
heard
shot.
this.
He was shot in the back several times. In the back several times. So
This
it's
just
like it's crazy.
and every time I see her father, oh my gosh.
Shanquella's
That
father.
man that man is broken. I mean, And I really felt for them. I really thought about them this past Thanksgiving, with it being just so new and you think your daughter's going on a vacation before holidays, and you expect her to be home with you on the holidays, and then for her to die so tragically. I really thought about them, and I had to send up a prayer, because I just couldn't imagine that
And
your
answers,
child
and
just is
you talk
gone,
about, you don't know
and
why.
you don't know why.
You don't know why. And it's kind of like I trusted you guys to be together. Like you guys have been at my house, you guys have eaten my food. And then you come and sit on my couch, talk to my wife, and tell me a lie about what you did to my daughter. And I still don't know why. She's a beautiful girl. And it's kind of like, is it jealousy? Is it that serious? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Even if it is jealousy, like, you know what, talk about her behind her back, like most folks do, and smile in her face, or talk about her in her face, so she knows, okay, I need to not be around this person. But to straight up physically beat somebody up, and nobody's like, okay, guys, we shouldn't be doing this.
Enough.
You're recording it, saying, why aren't you fighting back?
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
once
no
she
one
didn't
said.
fight back, that should have been it. That should have been.
And
I
it's
mean, she
crazy.
didn't even square up or anything. Basically, the girl just beat her. And that's what we've seen on video. Apparently, there's some other videos that we have not seen.
Who
But
knows
there
what
is
how
one where she's walking in the room talking, and they're all in the room. And I'm like, were them fools in there plotting on her when she walked in that room?
you don't know.
I'm just so angry. I'm just so angry at them. And do we know if they interviewed any of the other people?
Um, let me see.
No, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Do they know where any of them are?
They
Black
didn't
folk
have
Well,
all
it
their
says
address. Their
that
address. I mean, everybody's address is on the internet. Everybody.
But
yeah,
I don't know,
they
black folk
checked
can't
the
hide
house.
black folk can't hide too much, especially with there just being a holiday. Somebody has seen them and they just not saying something, or what? Because six black folks, you can't hide.
Well, I don't think they're trying to hide them. I don't think so
Brand,
because
they came, um, I mean, deleted their social media, changed their
Brandy,
phone. They're not trying to be found.
no, they're not
They're
trying to
not
be
hiding
found.
though. They're not hiding. I think it's just that they're trying to stay low, but they're not hiding.
Well,
But
Brand
Everybody know
always
they
listen,
have.
hiding me.
listen, you've got the Mexican authorities, you got the FBI and Interpol.
No, I'm not saying
You're
they can't find them, but
not hiding from them. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. You cannot hide from them.
I'm thinking in their mind, do they think they're hiding?
In their minds,
I don't
yes,
think
they
they
got
are because the same girl who has the warrant out in Mexico, she literally had her family put a post on Facebook saying she was gonna go live on Instagram to tell her side of the story. So no, I don't think they're hiding. I think at this point
And
they're
did
wondering.
she go live? Because that would be the worst thing she
I
could
don't know.
ever
I
do.
didn't. I mean, it was worse that the other friend did it, but he did it. I didn't even want to look at it because I'm like, did she think she a celebrity or something? I was
Are you
insulted,
talking
so I
about the
wouldn't want
friend
to
that
watch no
came
way.
later and did his video
No,
about how he didn't know what happened? Or are you talking about a different one? Or his
a
supposedly was
different
her
one. The
friend for the
girl.
past 5 years?
No, no. The one she fought, the one that fought her. Her. I know I know about the guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one that fought her. Went on Facebook and opened her Facebook, like opened her account back up, and said she was gonna go live. And I was disgusted because I'm like, I know you don't think you a celebrity or something, like
I want to know if
you
she
know
went
the.
live. Her
Oh
lawyer
yeah, I
would
don't
be
know.
very upset.
She probably didn't eventually because I'm sure he was like, that's stupid. But initially, she was like, she was. So I don't think they're high. I think they're just like in the cut,
But
just
you
trying to
know
stay
what?
lay low.
Your
But you
side
know
doesn't
what?
matter.
People like this, who, of course, they're not seasoned criminals. You think about the people who kill their kids and they can't find their kids, and then they go on these campaigns where they're crying on every show, and I just wish you could just find her, and that's what they were gonna do, because that's why they didn't take her to the hospital. Um, that's why they did this in Mexico. That's why they came home and tried to, craft these stories. So what they're doing
Sloppy
is they're
story,
trying to
sloppy too.
Right. They're trying to create a narrative. It's not gonna work because they already got a warrant for you, sis. I don't think you really want to go to a Mexican prison.
Hell no. I don't want to go to American prison, but I definitely do not want to go to a Mexican prison.
There's regulations over here what you can and can't do to people. In Mexico, you
I
go to
don't want to go to
prison
a Mexican jail.
and basically there is no commissary. There is no you get in where you fit in. And if your family don't come and actually bring you stuff, and then if they do bring you stuff and you take it back in there, you are in a fight for your life like it's Hunger Games. So if I pray that she is extradited and that she is convicted, all of them are convicted on some level of something, and they all go to a prison in Mexico because that would be the most just thing that could happen.
Is there a law, about, no, I don't, it probably doesn't, because we did the story about old girl from back in the day when she was being beat up and everybody witnessed it, but nobody called the police. Is there a law now about somebody who films somebody being murdered, and not like films like, okay, I'm going to film this to go to the police, like film them for enjoyment?
Let me see. Is filming a crime illegal? Let's see here. Nope. It is just in Texas. It says in Texas and other states, it's legal to film, photograph, or otherwise record anything that can be seen in a public place. This is a constitutional right. You do not have to intervene on anything. You are not obligated to do so.
Oh, well, is there a Mexican law? Because I just really have a problem with that guy sitting there filming her,
But here's the
and he
thing.
could have broke this up.
I think this is going to be the difference. They knew. So if it's a crime like this against someone that you do not know, then
I can understand, like, if it's a crime happening and you're recording it, like, people record the police when there's misconduct or something like
if
that.
the three of us are in a room together, Jackie and I start fighting, you know us and you film it without stopping us. That right there, you just became an accessory to that crime.
That's what I'm wondering.
Right. But see, there's a difference between us knowing each other and you with somebody fighting and me standing there and I'm not doing anything, I'm filming it, versus I just see some random ass people and I film it.
Yeah, I understand that. But you're having a whole, you're conversing with the person who's being beat up, telling her she's not fighting back, but yet you're still fighting. And they said there's another video, but I have not seen it. I have not watched it. It's bad enough to see the one that I saw.
Yeah.
I'm just disgusted all around with this case. Just
A lot of people are really
all
disgusted.
around.
I was very surprised at how many people spoke about this. And I think I was surprised because we do live in a social media world and things like this are new to us. And a lot of us have become like desensitized to, I know I'm desensitized to the mass shooting, which is sad, but I kind of am. So I was just, very surprised that people were really, really, taken with this. Because, someone who's seemingly unproblematic, young, educated, trying to be an entrepreneur, doing the right things, and
College graduate, making her own money. And that's what also made me mad, that the guy went and had this whole montage on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, I don't know which one, about, about her passing and with pictures and all this. This is before it went viral. And I think one of the girls, I released the video. I can't remember why I tried to go back to see why she released it. I couldn't find that, but
So she got scared.
Yeah,
She got scared.
do we know which blogger broke this story? Because it kind of grew. It was kind of like a ball, just.
I mean, I saw it on Instagram. Probably either Shade Room or because those are the only two like bloggers that I follow, a Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk. So it had to be one or both of those. Or just seeing it come across my Facebook feed. But
So Jackie, what was she scared of? Jackie?
I was trying to get done me and I don't know what was going on. It says that because when they do a storyline, the reason she came out with the video is because she was worried that she would look like a suspect. So once said the girl it got back and it became a big, national situation, then she got afraid. And then she released a video kind of like to clear her name. But it's not really clearing your name. I mean, you're still necessary. But her purpose for doing it was to clear her name.
Well, I'm happy she released it. So did they all have a copy of this video on their phone?
Pretty sure they spread it to each other, but for sure Winter and the girl who actually fought her did. Because Winter is the other girl that's like the other one she fought.
That's where the crime comes in as well. If you have something like this and you spread it, it's kind of like I don't know if it's the same, but just think about when you like if you have a intimate video with you and your partner and you share it with somebody, that's trafficking. So it's kind of like on that same level. Like you have this video of someone getting beat to death, and
basically murdered.
You were there. This is not something that you found. This is something that you shared of something that you witnessed and you were there in the room as an accessory and you shared it. That's a problem. If it's not against the law, it's not going to look good for them in court.
I just still don't understand going. And I know it's a maturity thing, but I still don't understand going to another country on a vacation that you paid for to fight somebody. I I cannot wrap my brain around that. And I understand, even these are grown folks' money, and I know you were saying grown don't mean maturity, but I just don't. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know. This is what I took from it.
At home where it's free.
I think it was kind of. Now this is just my opinion. I think that when everything hit the fan and if whatever beef happened between her, Winter, and the girl, whatever the one that actually was in the video, when all the beef came out or whatever happened here in the States, and maybe she thinking everything's squashed, and then here they go over there, and as you could, I don't know if y'all saw the video, they're plotting on her in that room, which was just disgusting. But it's kind of like, okay, well, here's the opportunity. We could check her about what she is.
And then maybe they were just egging her on. It starts off as like a little, we don't argue or whatever, but then people get egging you on, and now you gotta show and prove, like what I'm saying, because you didn't talk the big game, you didn't talk all this shit. So what you gonna do? And now it becomes a
the girl I just let her damn man. The other girl, she was kind of jealous about some dude that went on the trip that she was trying to talk to, and he was interested in her. And this is just a story based on like the timeline that the friends gave and the family and other friends on the outside, and that supposedly one of the girls was jealous about her talking to.
Step your game up. Step your game up.
That's crazy. You're going to fight somebody over a man that's not even trying to talk to you? Like,
step your game up. Because even if you beat her up, he probably still ain't trying to holler at you.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
I just don't. This is some real high school
I was upset. It's very sad. It really made me upset. I was like, you mean tell me like after everything came out, and this is just recent, because there's people that are obsessed with it, like I am with Kanika. And that was the last thing. It was that, and they had all this timeline and stuff. And it was because the other girl, Winter, that's her name. Winter was upset, and Winter and the girl that fought her in the video were supposed to be was much closer. She was close to the boy that got on Instagram to tell his story. That was supposed to be her friend. She went with him. She didn't.
So Winter's the light skin
really like that. She knew him like that.
The Winter's the light skinned girl.
Right. The one that's trying to keep a low profile. The other girl that fought her. And she wasn't really friends with them. She was best friends with him. And he is the one who invited her on the trip with them. And so apparently the girl Winter was upset because she thought that one of the other fellas that went was trying to hit on her. I mean, she's beautiful. She's a little entrepreneur. She's doing pretty well, actually. So I don't know if the jealousy, but like you said, you just step your game up, and it pretty much just sounds like a bunch of jealousy and just hating on her. But originally, they weren't her real friends like that. Yeah, they're not her friends like that. The male is her friend. It's one guy that's her best friend.
And he's not her friend either.
Yeah, he's not her friend either. The rest of them are just around the white people. You know how it is. But he's supposed to be
like who want to go. We all went to college together. Who want to go? See, that's why you don't go on trips with everybody. Because somebody always trying to, if suppose can't say it to your face.
Wow.
Don't go.
Don't go. Get your money back.
And I haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the video of her and Winter fighting. I saw the other one, and that was just disgusting enough. I didn't really want to see the Winter one, but I did see the one where she was like happy. They're in a whole nother country. She's excited, and she's looking for them, and everybody is in the room all quiet.
Yeah.
As soon as she come in the room, everybody just stopped talking immediately. And she's like, "What's wrong? What's taking y'all so long?" And everybody just like, nobody saying nothing. And I'm like, that's a telltale sign right there.
If your friend has a problem with you, your friend needs to tell you. That's what a friend does. I have a problem with you, so I'm going to come to you as a friend and tell you.
They have a mind your P's and Q's while you're on this trip. They got a problem with you. Let's get a different room. Or as the friend, you're supposed to check them. You're supposed to check the other people as a friend, male or female. You're supposed to check them and be like, she wasn't doing nothing.
He recorded her when she was in that. He recorded her in a hammock because that video came out too. She in a hammock, drunk beyond words, and they're laughing at her. They got videos on her. They're laughing at her. They're talking about. She was out of there. She was so out of there that she was pretty much unconscious. Like she didn't know what was going on. Like he was like messing with her. She didn't know nothing. This is also the night before. Yeah, this is the night before everything happened. And then even after everything happened, and he tells that story of, well, I called the cops and they don't want to talk about how the ambulance came. Yeah, the ambulance did come. But by the time they came, it was already too late to do anything for her. She had already passed away on the way to the hospital anyway. So there wasn't nothing they could do.
Didn't need to be called if you didn't let them. There would have been no need for them if you didn't let that happen. You lured your friend there. You knew that they didn't like it. You thought it would be amusing, and it went too far.
You did not protect your friend.
You did not protect.
And
her.
I don't even want to use the word friend. You did not protect her. If you're supposed to be, have some type of feeling for her.
Even if he's not indicted, he has to live with that. He has to live with that. They all have to live with that reality.
And old Sugarfoot, she feeling a certain way because she released that video. So she feeling a certain way. She feeling bad. But are you feeling bad because you got caught, or are you feeling bad because the girl passed away?
It's all of that. And the fact that you let one or two people lead you to a possible life sentence. You know what I mean?
I don't want to do a week. You hear me? I don't want to do a week in a Mexican prison. Not a week.
Nothing. I don't even want the Mexican police officer to look at me sideways.
Don't even know my name. Just don't know me.
No, I didn't do it.
No federales. Just don't look at me.
Wasn't me. So that's gonna be our show tonight. Before that Percocet kicks in, or the pain level rises too much.
Girl, I'm getting loose now. We can talk about old girl and her husband now, because I'm getting loose.
Oh, what husband?
The documentary we were supposed to do.
Oh, we'll talk about her next week, because we already went into depth on why I think all that happened and who I think came that fall. So that's definitely gonna have to be without Percocet.
We're gonna have some disagreements in this next. I mean, I'm with you, but we're gonna have some disagreements in this next next
So
episode.
next episode, we will be talking about Killer Sally.
We always have disagreements.
This is true. This is true. It's currently on Netflix as a documentary, and it is about Sally and Ray McNeil, bodybuilding couple during the 80s and 90s and 2000s, and it all goes real bad. So we're going to talk about that. Because Brady and I was like button heads, like we always do, but we were doing off camera.
I mean, we agreed with some stuff, but to some stuff I was like, hopefully next week I won't. Hopefully next week I'll be better, in a better way physically. I go to the doctor tomorrow, so y'all pray. Y'all pray it's gonna take 3 months for this recovery total. But y'all just pray that the next piece of this ain't as rough as the past 2 weeks, or the past 2 weeks work, because this thing wasn't playing. And I've had a lot of surgeries, but this shoulder placement was not playing. So y'all just keep me in prayer. Keep me on your list. Take me in your prayer closet with you. You just call my name to the Father.
You done?
Because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. We're just gonna go ahead.
Because I'm gonna get started.
We're gonna go ahead and go.
Because I already got a hymn on my spirit.
Nope. Before we get to the hymn, we're gonna
let
go
them
ahead.
Let them hear the hymn.
No,
Jack,
do not hype her up, ma'am. Do not do it. But we're gonna go ahead and end. We thank y'all for viewing. We thank you for being.
We don't get to do that.
Right now.
We don't get to do the A&B selection of love.
Oh, the Lord.
All right. Bye, y'all. We
blessing me. Right now. Oh, right now. I would clap, but my hand. Woke me up this morning and started me on my way. Yes, the Lord is blessing me.
Good night, y'all.
Right now.
And try to erase.
I sing the Lord